2036. The Doctor had just met his new companion, Lily Richardson, after crashing into her living room, following his own adventure across Gallifrey and Khan. She'd agreed to join him on adventures across space and time. Their first adventure, wherever the TARDIS would take them and more. The Doctor let her pull the lever to take them to their first place. But something was happening. Something that should have been. The machine was shaking at an uncontrollable rate. What's gone wrong? He thought to himself. He'd trained for years on Gallifrey to pilot a TARDIS, and yet this had never happened to him before. It was shaking. He could barely see anything with all the vibrations happening around him, but suddenly it came to an end with a massive thud. The doors swung open. The Doctor and Lily both looked out of the door. The Carnival of Dramata, 34:29. The Doctor and Lily both looked out of the door for a good 30 seconds before either of them even moved. Was that supposed to happen? Lily asked, a slight hint of both guilt and worry in her voice, thinking it was all her fault. No, it wasn't, the Doctor answered, but looked at Lily, seeing how guilty she looked, so he continued. But don't worry, I'm sure it's not your fault. You're certain it's not my fault? She asked, trying to shake the feeling it was her fault away. No, can't be. I think the Time Lords are trying to seize the TARDIS. I didn't exactly take it with permission. You stole it, Lily said, shocked at what she was hearing. No, I was going to get it. I just took it prematurely, the Doctor said, trying to wiggle his way out of a sticky situation. So, you stole it? Lily asked the third time. Yeah, the Doctor finally answered truthfully, realising Lily wasn't seeing through what he said. The Doctor and Lily finally stepped out of the TARDIS hand in hand, and they walked out of the door, where they were met by the biggest, brightest carnival either of them had ever seen, only rivalled in beauty by the pure nature and the citadel on Gallifrey. The lights were flashing vibrant colours in the dark night sky of the planet, with fireworks going off above the carnival and its accompanied theme park. The Carnival of Dramata was the biggest attraction on the dwarf planet for several hundreds of years, and had brought mass tourism to the planet since it had started in the year 2844, and had developed further and further since the humans started to live on the planet in the early 3000s. The Doctor and Lily's arrival, however, would set a deadly chain of events in motion, which would draw this carnival to a close for the rest of time. The Doctor and Lily had a go on some rides and played some games. The Doctor hated the roller coasters. Lily got lost in the funhouse. But they both loved the dodgems they spent hours on. They went to the daily show held at the carnival. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest carnival in all of creation, the ringmaster said, shouting at the height of his vocal ability so everyone in the oversized stadium could hear what he was saying. Many of you have never been here before. Some of you have been here many times, but every night the performance is different, and tonight is no exception. Before he could say any more, lights went on across the whole stadium. Indoor drone displays of colourful images of all different species and all different planets. A display of diversity that could not have existed on any other planet in the whole galaxy. The Doctor and Lily were amazed by all the displays. But then, everything stopped. The lights went out and several explosions happened around the building. An image appeared in the centre of the room where the images of all the species had appeared moments earlier. This time it wasn't a picture. It was a video. Visitors of Dramata. I go by many names. At the moment, I call myself Mysterium. The woman on the live feed was dark-skinned and had long purple hair, as well as wearing a jacket with hexagons of gold and black over it. I have shut down the carnival. and all systems inside of it until I find my target. He goes by the name of the Doctor. Who's that, Doctor? Lily said, trying to whisper to him. I don't know, he said, whispering back. Hey! This girl over here says this guy's a doctor. Hand him over! The human shouted to the people around him and Lily, angered at the disruption of usual carnival services. Hand yourself over! The Carled shouted from the other side of them. Make sure they don't escape! Hey, maybe we can get a reward. The Doctor? You destroyed my planet! The hate was coming from all sides of them. The Doctor stood up, grabbed Lily's arms, and grabbed a rope. They were lucky to be on the near side, near a balcony, so he cut at the bottom and swung across the arena. Him and Lily swung into the middle, grabbing a ribbon dangling down from the centre of the arena, and slid into the middle. The ringmaster was there with them. He grabbed his cane and pressed a button on the side where a blade came out of the cane as he held it to the Doctor's throat. So, you are the Doctor? The ringmaster asked. Yes, I am. Please help me escape, the Doctor asked, a tiny bit scared of what was happening all around him. As the people in the arena started to walk around and circle the three people. Depends. What does a woman want you for? The ringmaster asked. I don't even know who the woman is, the Doctor insisted. Fine, but we'll have to be quick, the ringmaster said. The ringmaster pressed a second button on his cane, which put the blade back inside. He tapped his cane on the floor 3 times, then he, Lily and the Doctor all fell into a pit of foam as the floor opened beneath them, then quickly closed. Foam? Lily shouted in shock. This is supposed to be an escape, not a children's play area. I will admit it needs workshopping, the ringmaster agreed with her. He just didn't want to outright say it. Lights went on from all above their heads, and the Doctor could see doors leading to different places all around them. He saw that they weren't just places, but times. London, 1965, Skaro, 2601, Atraxia, 5021, Mondas, 2025, New York, 5,000,001, Atropos, 17,000, Gallifrey, The End of Time, England, 1730, the United States of America, 1800. What's he doing? Is he messing with time? The Doctor had so many questions swirling around in his head, 10 times over for each question. But before he could think any more, he remembered one of the exhibits in the museum section of the carnival. What was it called? How could I forget? Thoughts swirling through his head over and over again, until the answers finally clicked. The ringmaster's artifacts. He was stealing items from across time and space. The items began clicking in his head. Now everything he'd seen in the exhibition. Item 005, a lost TARDIS control orb. Item 237, the campaign poster for a woman called the Warmonger. Item 091, the hat of a famed highwayman named Dick Turpin. Item 112, a Maury headpiece. Item 998, a broken passenger prison form. Item 744, the pistol used in a duel between American politicians. The Doctor knew something was wrong. The ringmaster was stealing artifacts from all across space and time, and the Doctor was going to get to the bottom of it. He grabbed the ringmaster's cane and pressed the buttons and held the blade at the ringmaster's neck. They could hear pounding from above them where the arena was. The angry crowd had gathered, looking for the Doctor. What are these doors for? The Doctor asked the ringmaster angrily. Time travel, you know. Just the occasional trip, certain places and times, he answered. Time travel isn't for fun, the Doctor insisted. Look, Doctor, that crowd is getting louder and louder, and the only way out of this room is by going through my time doors. I could have made an easier way to get from place to place, but I need to go through 3 or 4 different doors to get to my main base. And I can help you get off world. Just trust what I'm saying. The ringmaster was practically begging him at this point, and Doctor had no other choice but to accept it. So, which door first? Lily asked, feeling like she'd been forgotten. I think it's New York, in 5,000,001, the ringmaster answered her. Come on then, the doctor said. The ringmaster opened the door, and the doctor and Lily followed. New York, 5,000,001. Outside the rotating doors of the New York Medical Center, the ringmaster, the doctor, and Lily all walked out separately. The ringmaster walked ahead, leading the other two across town. "So, where are we going?" Lily asked, waiting to see if either of them answered. "Half a mile across town is where the next set of doors are. It's an underground bunker, securely protected, Doctor, so don't worry," the ringmaster answered. The sky of New York at night was beautiful. A mix between a golden yellow and dark blue. It was one of the most beautiful things Lily had ever seen in this life. And the eco-friendly buildings with trees flooding off the sides to protect the environment. The sun was a bright green, a nice contrast from the bright yellow sun she was used to back on Earth. The buildings were a mix of bright colours. The couples on the street were of different species and different genders and sexualities. The streets were so diverse, Lily was amazed even with the changes on Earth in recent years. There was nothing as close to this. After admiring the view of New York, the walk was over in an instant, and they found themselves at the underground bunker of the ringmaster. The doctor was shocked by even more doors. It was shocking how he'd stolen so much from across time. They entered the next door, a door that would take them back to the doctor's home. Just years and years after the doctor left it, only a few hours ago for him, the doctor was about to go back to Gallifrey. Gallifrey, the last days of existence. The planet, once covered in golden sands, was just a desolate rock. The doctor didn't recognise where he was standing, but many years after he left, the citadel was bombed, and massive shards of glass fell to the ground. The doctor was walking on these with the pipes and tubes all a part of the citadel, forged into the rock after so long. The ringmaster had tunnels, 7 different sets of doors. They had to go through this set as it was closer and easier to get to their endpoint. They passed a barn, the only part of the original Gallifrey that was standing. In certain universes, the Doctor grew up in that barn. In others, it was where he was forced to believe he set off the moment at the end of the Time War. In some universes, it was both. The Doctor didn't know what caused Gallifrey to become like this. The Time War was yet to hit this Doctor. It would still be a few lives before he would, and it would break him more than anything. But that's another story. The sets of doors on this planet tended to be singular, just to get from location to location rather than back and forth. The ringmaster had to, if he didn't want to be detected. The Doctor was so upset by what happened to Gallifrey, not knowing what caused it. Luckily, he wouldn't have to ponder the question any longer. They soon arrived at the door and went to their next location. They still had several more to get through, but the ringmaster assured them it would be quick. Weehawken, New Jersey, 1804. The trio had arrived in New Jersey at the dawn of the 19th century and were well on their way to the next door. It was the middle of the night. They didn't think much of it until they saw a group of people all huddling together. They didn't think anything of that until they heard a gunshot. They looked over and saw a man fall to the ground, wearing glasses, dropping his gun as he fell. Must have been a duel, the Doctor said, not thinking much of it. He'd not studied Earth history very well, but knew it was common in this area. But by the dying man, he saw another holding a gun, almost frustrated with what he'd done. But he's being pushed away by both friends and enemies to allow the dying man some peace. A base outside the Carnival of Demeter, 3429. They had to stop at a few more locations before they got to the ringmaster's base. But they soon got there to be greeted by a shock. Inside the ringmaster's base, they found the woman going by the name Mysterium. "Doctor," Mysterium greeted him. "Who are you?" the Doctor asked. "That's on a need-to-know basis. And you don't need to know," Mysterium responded to his question. "Don't mess me around, whoever you really are," the Doctor responded, anger rising in his voice. "I'm not messing you around. The Time Lords asked me to look for you. I was eager to. Not for them, but for personal reasons. I can't believe you don't recognize me. I'll leave now, Doctor. I've locked this planet in a bubble. No one will get in or out without a machine like your TARDIS. The bounty will keep rising on your head, Doctor. And one day, you will be hunted down, Mysterium responded. A blaster bolt fired. The ringmaster had shot Mysterium as they were walking to their ship. Mysterium fell to the floor, but quickly got back up and limped into her ship. Why did you do that? The Doctor asked the ringmaster angrily. She broke into my base. Anyone who does that deserves that, he responded. No one deserves that, the Doctor insisted. But before he could say any more, he heard a sound, the TARDIS dematerializing. The Mysterium ship was gone. Maybe, if they had a TARDIS, they were a Time Lord. The Doctor was confused. Maybe they regenerated. Maybe he would meet them again and not recognize them. His brain was racked with questions, wandering over and over again. The ringmaster gave the Doctor and Lily a ship ride back to the TARDIS and begged for a lift-off world, but he was refused it. You shot a woman. No one who shoots anyone can travel with me. You can either die in a worldwide revolution or rise to power. I don't care what happens. I don't care about this planet, the Doctor insisted, mad, before he slammed the TARDIS doors and walked to the console. Where are we going? Lily asked slightly nervously. I don't know, the Doctor responded angrily. A moment went by. I'm sorry, Lily. Mysterium. There are these questions going round and round in my head about who and what she was. She had a TARDIS. Was she a Time Lord? I'm so confused, Lily. I just need to rest. We can go on another adventure in a few days' time. I need to rest. You can pick any bedroom in the TARDIS and do whatever you want with it. There's everything in the TARDIS. You could do whatever you want. I'm sorry, Lily. I just need a few days. Lily looked at him, 2 hands on the console. She put her hand on his left one, said, It's okay, Doctor. It's okay. Written by Cybermaster. Narrated by Josh Dyer. Produced by Cybermaster. Executive producers Cybermaster, Doctor Who Funpage, Whoniverse Fan. A Whoniverse Productions /Funpage Studios production.